Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining my channel. My name is Vin, and today we are going to be playing Genshin Impact. Now, this video is going to go over how to fight the boss battle, Anemo Hypostasis. Now, in this fight, the main thing that you want to bring is characters that are good against Anemo. And for me, I should have brought Fischl, Beidou, and Dingaling and Barber. I should have brought those four characters. I didn't because I love Venti and I still get the job done, albeit it's not the best, the cleanest fight that I've had against the Anemo Hypostasis, but this video is going to show you my errors and hopefully give you some insight onto the boss and how the mechanics of each one of the bosses in this game work. But for today, we're just going to be focused on the Anemo Hypostasis. And if you like this kind of content, you want to see more, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you can see the other boss battles that I put on my channel as well. And that way you can kind of stay in the loop, stay in the know of what's going on in the game and how to conquer some of the harder fights. Now, this fight is not hard by any stretch of the imagination unless you don't know what you're getting into. So let's go ahead and start the video and let me show you the first steps or a couple of mechanics that happen in this fight. So as you're going to run up to him, you're going to see those bricks around his core. As long as those bricks are around his core in the formation that they're in right now, you can't deal damage to him. So the first mechanic that we saw here just now was his butterfly mechanic. And his butterfly mechanic is a two-part mechanic. So, well, technically it's a three-part mechanic. So the three-part mechanic is that the wind on the ground right now underneath Beidou's feet um, is going to push you in the air. It's going to act just like the Venti push into the air where you have a slow descent. Quick, quick rise, a slow descent. That's going to allow the Anemo Hypostasis to hit you with an attack. And you will see the attack happen here. So there's one attack and there's two attacks. So two attacks, and if he pushes you up in the air, he's going to hit you with that second attack regardless. So try to avoid that if you can. The easiest way to avoid that is just dodge out of the way. When you see him turn into a butterfly, don't stop running the um, until the wind current goes off. Because once the wind current goes off, then the butterfly won't turn or anything like that. He'll go that um, towards that wind current, and then the Anemo crystal drops, and you're able to actually deal damage. This is the first part of the fight where you're actually able to deal damage to the boss. So do your combos, do everything you can to just try to push as much damage onto this fella as fast as possible. And here is the second mechanic to this fight. So the second mechanic to this fight isn't very tricky. It's kind of easy to see. Whenever you see him drop to the ground and he spreads out all of his bricks, you need to be on the outside of that AoE. If you're on the outside of that AoE and you actually have an archer or ranged character with you, you can hit his core from here. You got plenty of range to be able to hit his core. And actually you will see that that my Venti actually does some damage to him from this distance, albeit it's only like 400 damage-ish if I'm lucky. But I should have brought Fischl. I know. Should have brought Fischl. Could have did more. Oz would have been amazing. But now, after that mechanic stops, his core drops to the ground. You can still continue to do damage on him. So this is what I'm doing now, pumping more damage into the fella. And he's going to go into his next cycle, his next mechanic that he's going to do. This mechanic right here places 3 wind currents on the ground. And this is good to know for a future mechanic later in the video that we'll talk about. But for right now, just try to avoid them. Don't get hit by the air pressure coming down from the top, and try to get back to the boss as fast as you can, because while his crystal is exposed, you can deal damage at any part of the fight. So as long as his crystal is exposed, as you can see, doing damage. But if I'd have got back to him a little sooner, I'd have been able to put a little more chip damage. And this is the part right here that I messed up. So I should have darted out of the way. I didn't. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. It's a really pretty butterfly, I reckon. So I'm going to get hit twice. First time was just now. I got pushed in the air. You're going to see me do a slow descent back to the ground. But before I even get close to the ground, as a matter of fact, as soon as I hit play here, I'm going to get hit by the Anemo Hypostasis. So, boom, there it is. And then he's going to drop to the ground, and I'm going to be able to start putting damage out. So you don't need a healer here, but if you make mistakes like I did, having a healer is really nice. Dingaling took a lot of damage, so I gotta heal that poor thing up. Now, this mechanic right here, whenever he gets into the center and you see him do that little swirl up to the top out of view range, know that that tail is going to spawn a lot of tornadoes and cyclones all on the platform. You need to avoid those. So when you see him dart to the center, if he's not close to dead, then you know that the tornadoes are coming, and you need to start moving towards the outer edge of the arena like I'm doing now. And you want to try to avoid these cyclones, these little tornado things, because if they get bunched up close together, they can knock you up in the air forever and kill your character. So you want to avoid that if you can, and just kind of stay to the outside and wait for those to die down. As soon as those die down, that's going to start the next mechanic, which is right here. If you can see in the sky, every single one of those little green Anemo gems up there is part of another mechanic. I don't get to that mechanic. I actually DPS the boss down fast enough. I bypass that part of the mechanic. But if you don't have the DPS to bypass that part of the mechanic, I'm going to go over that now. So what's going to happen is I'm going to dart in. Once he does the green Anemo gems up in the air, I'm going to dart in, and I'm going to do damage. Put a little damage on him. As soon as he comes back up, he's going to have 2 more phases that he's going to go through. After the second phase, if you don't have enough damage output to put him back in the center to start the final phase, then you're going to get another mechanic, a third mechanic. That third mechanic is pretty brutal if you don't know what you're doing. So what's going to happen on that third mechanic is that for every one of these little Anemo gems that are up in the air, he's going to do a ripple effect shockwave out from the center of his core. Now you're able to actually hit the core if you can get close enough to it, but with that ripple shockwave effect, you're going to get hit by it, and it's going to knock you up in the air, and you're not going to be able to do damage anyway, so it doesn't matter at that point. But what happens is, after he stands back up from where we're at right now, when he stands back up, he's going to place down 3 more wind currents. These wind currents are going to allow you to fly up and gather as many of these green Anemo gems as you can. Now, for every one that you gather, that's less AoEs that you're going to have to deal with and stay in the air for longer periods of time, because those wind currents aren't going to stay forever. This is where Venti's actually really good, because he can create his own wind current and avoid it altogether. And in that case, if you do got Venti and you don't have enough DPS to get him to bypass that part of the phase, I just say just throw your wind current and just stay up in the air for as long as you can, and then cast it again and stay up in the air until this phase is over with. But for everybody else, try to get as many of these green crystals as you can that's floating in the sky, and try to avoid his ripple currents that happen by floating in the air. So we're going to go in, put some more chip damage on the fellow, and After this, he's going to stand back up. Here it is. He's going to put down the 3 wind currents here. There they go. I dart back in because this crystal's showing, and I can start beating him down some more. Next phase here is the second phase, which is the which is rinse and repeat. Really, is everything you've seen up to this point. This is the butterfly that he's doing right now. So now I gotta try to find a crystal. There it is. Put some more chip damage down. This right here is where I push him into the center of the arena for the final phase. Now, if I didn't have enough damage right there to do it, his next mechanic would have been the ripple effect that covers the entire arena, as I mentioned before. So keep that in mind if you're fighting the boss and you don't really have good DPS. So now here is the absolute final part of the mechanics for this fight. Once he spawns to the center, you get him close to dead like I got him here, and he's going to jump to the center. He's going to spawn 4 more of those Anemo crystals in the air that you need to fly up and gather. Every one that you leave up, whenever he sucks them in, gives him hit points. So you take them all away, and he only regens a little bit of hit points that you had to take out. And once you gather them all, and he regens a little bit, you're able to actually kill him, and that's what I do here. I don't gather all 4 of them all at once, but it takes me 2 phases to get it. So what happens, I gather that one, and then I realize, oh shit, I can't do a 180 in mid-air, so I just kind of screwed the pooch, and I dropped, and then I'm like, oh crap, I didn't get it in time. So he regened quite a bit of hit points back. Now I have to go through this phase again, and he does the Anemo butterfly. Once he does his Anemo butterfly, he's going to drop back down to the ground. I need to try to put as much DPS on him as I can, so try to get him back in the center so I can get that last crystal and kill him, which I did. Now his last crystal's going to pop. I don't see it. There it is. And now we just wait here patiently for him to come out of his invulnerable state. And he is going to regen a little bit of hit points here at this point. Whenever he comes back, he's going to regen a little bit, but it's not nearly as much as if he would have gotten 1. So I'll wait for this mechanic to happen. There it is. And I know what to do. Try to put some DPS on him, but it wasn't enough at that point. So now he did the book. That book mechanic is another mechanic that he does. So if he ever comes running at you, right there, he came running at me. If you ever see that, know that that book is coming and that he's going to try to close the book up on you. And you just need to dart out of the way. You can dart behind, that's fine. But as soon as that happens, you need to get back in so you can start breaking that crystal that spawned up. And there you go. And that's the end of the fight, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this part of the video. I'm going to call this the boss series, epic boss series of Genshin Impact. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, like I said in the beginning, leaving a comment letting me know what part of the video was actually helpful, what part wasn't. I'm trying to be as thorough as I can to broaden the audience retention a little bit, because not everybody learns at the same pace. So if there is things that you enjoyed about the video, let me know down in the comments section. If there's things that you didn't really care too much for, like, oh, I kind of knew that, you can skip that next time or something like that, let me know down in the comments down below. And if I missed anything, if I missed any of the mechanics, or if I got the mechanic wrong, let me know as well down in the comments. Well guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day.